Where there's smoke, there's fire. I always say that, but with the Edmonton Oilers, there's a lot of smoke right now. So Jake Guentzel's the name right now, and Oilers fans are getting fired up. So from Pierre LeBrun on Insider Trading, he said their top priority is to add a top 6 forward if at all possible. I think the idea is there to upgrade on the second line with Draisaitl. We mentioned Guentzel as a real splashy name. I think he remains on their list, but who knows if he's even available. Jordan Eberle, that name continues to grow within the front office of the Oilers. The idea of the reunion with him, if Seattle falls out of it. Tarasenko, there's a fresh name. He's got a full no trade clause, but I believe he would waive for a contender like Edmonton. Whoa! All right, so we're talking about Guentzel. We're talking about Eberle. We're talking about Tarasenko. Crazy. And there's a lot of conversation about Broberg right now. That Friedman's talking about it, that Broberg could be the big piece going the other way. I mean, Pittsburgh could look at a Broberg and a first-round pick, and that there's been a lot of conversations that, I mean, Friedman said it, LeBrun said it, a lot of people have said it, they're going to move their first-round pick. I mean, people out of Edmonton are saying it's almost a sure thing that Edmonton will move their first-round pick before this year's deadline and get an upgrade. So, Broberg, first-round pick, you could get a lot for just those two assets, and then I think they're willing to trade more. So, Philip Broberg, you see how he's like evolved in the AHL. He's ready for NHL minutes. People are comparing him to like Clefbaum, a better Clefbaum when healthy. So it's time. I honestly think it's time. And there's a lot of rumors of also the Oilers looking at Lawton and looking at Walker and looking at Ristolainen. And they've also called Columbus. Who knows? I've tied Columbus and Edmonton on like Merzlikins, Boone Jenner, so many of these names. I mean, I think if it was a Columbus deal, I feel like that's where it's like the Campbell conversation come in. Maybe you go after Merzlikins and Jenner in Columbus. Or if you're Edmonton, you're calling Philly for Walker and Lawton or Ristolainen and Lawton, and you're willing to move a first, Broberg, and maybe another young player. That would be intriguing to Philly. So that's the conversation right now. Oilers, I could see any kind of package deals, but if I could make a prediction right now, if Guentzel's not available and, for example, Seattle doesn't get out of it, like Seattle stays in the conversation, I really think Philly's that team because while they could be in a playoff spot, and they have been, I think they're willing to retool on the fly and just kind of trust their young core. So losing guys like Lawton and Walker, yeah, Lawton's a great leader in that room, a key piece, big John Tortorella guy. But if you're Philly and you're getting a first, you're getting Broberg, you're getting another young player, I think you have to consider it because you're moving forward with the younger core, especially Sean Walker, a pending UFA. I think the only way you keep Sean Walker if you're Philly is if you trade Rasmus Ristolainen. So either or could be an Edmonton target. But I go all the way back to this, guys. My trade prediction, if Guentzel was available, I would say it would be retained 50% by Pittsburgh, probably. Then you'd probably see, I mean, CC played well in Pittsburgh. I could see it being either like a CC and then you get like a cheaper defenseman from Pittsburgh, or you do that and then you go after Walker, or you just have to soak the fact that you're trading like a Fogle, right? So Guentzel comes in 50% retained, Fogle, first round pick, Broberg, maybe a conditional pick in there. You get Jake Guentzel in Edmonton. Something like that, right? Might have to be a bit more, but I mean, if you're Edmonton, you are doing that in a heartbeat. If you can get Jake Guentzel next to Draisaitl, oh my gosh, man, you are doing that 1,000%. Even if you have to give up a first, Broberg, and a couple other assets, you're doing that. That I honestly think, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here with the Oilers just on the run, but I think if Stuart Skinner can play like this the rest of the way and through the playoffs, I think the defense is good enough where it's like maybe you do get another defenseman to play with Ekholm, like a Walker, like a Ristolainen, maybe even a Tanev, who knows. But I think if you got a Guentzel to complement and solidify that top six, I honestly think there's probably like only 2 or 3 teams that could maybe stop them. And if that, like, I don't think Colorado has enough firepower after Rantanen and McKinnon to make up for if Jake Guentzel joined Edmonton. So who knows? Maybe other teams will go after Guentzel just to keep Guentzel away from Edmonton. Give me your thoughts, guys. I think this would be absolutely insane, but it's there's a lot of smoke around it right now. I think like 3 or 4 people that are reliable out there have talked about Guentzel being tied to Edmonton, including LeBrun and Friedman, and people close to Edmonton have brought it up. So subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. We'll see what happens. But Jake Guentzel or other big names going to the Oilers, they're willing to move some big assets to get one of these guys. So we'll see what happens and talk soon. Peace.